Welcome everyone to another Port Jackson webinar. Thank you very much for turning out today. We've got another amazing guest back on to the show. We have Victor Rosenberg from ClearVue. Thank you very much, Victor, for joining us once again.
It's a pleasure, Lachlan, and thanks once again for affording me the opportunity to talk to you and to your web base. I look forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, as everyone knows, just with these webinars, we go through the progress of how the company is going, and we give the opportunity for the audience to give a bit of questions towards Victor at the end. So if you want to ask any questions, we'll answer those at the very end of the webinar. But if you want to ask them throughout, I'll try and get through to them at the very end. But apart from that, we've seen a few announcements at the moment come through, Victor, with ClearVue. And especially because people have heard about this before, if you want to do a quick little rundown on what ClearVue is at the moment, and we'll jump into how the European update's been going. What's been happening with your announcement on the 26th of May?
Okay, well, basically, I'll just do a kickoff with the capital structure so people can see it there. We have 210 million shares on issue, and we have 15.9 million in the bank. So we really are cashed up and ready to fund our European and North American operations, because we're looking at expanding there and growing there, both with offices in both jurisdictions.
Beautiful, beautiful.
The management, the management has changed a little bit. I think since we last spoke, the board is myself, Stuart Carmichael, Roger Steiner-Price, and of course the company secretaries, Deb Ho and Brett Tucker. Our management team, the key technical management team, is Steve Coonan, who is in the US. I do a lot of work. We're doing a lot of development work with him. I'll come back to that on the new products that we're developing. Mikhail, he's our lead scientist in our offices here. Towers, our structural engineer, and we've appointed a mechatronic engineer because we're really looking to beef up the functional products to have smart electric and smart building management systems. In terms of the tech, if it's similar audiences that we've had before, basically we're a building technology company. We create smart building materials that of course are sustainable, energy efficient, and provide positive environmental outcomes. Part of the solution for achieving zero net energy, zero net carbon, and reducing carbon footprint and autonomous functional windows, we are definitely part of that solution. And more is moving that way. People are being forced to make the changes. They've got to head towards the zero carbon. London, of course, by 2030 is talking of it. The US is talking by 2050, but they're really starting to make big moves. I'll come back to that. Our clear glass panels serves many purposes. It's energy saving and it's producing. It does both, so you get the double whammy from inside the room and outside the glass. Highly insulating, and you'll pick that up when I talk about the greenhouse. You'll see how insulating the product is, and that's what reduces the energy consumption from within the room. Another big one is we reduce the carbon footprint. You have to start reducing the carbon footprint, because the main enemy here is the big C, not the cancer, but the carbon. We have to now start removing emission of carbon in a big way and fast. The product is scalable, which makes the technology quite unique. Most technologies are difficult to scale. We can actually scale up to floor to ceiling height, which actually is a major advantage to our technology. The efficiency rating is between 3 and 4% today. And using our product, you can get significant energy savings. And we remove the unwanted UV and infrared from the building, which is then converted into electricity by various mechanisms. One of them, of course, now is luminescence, diffraction, degrating, them various mechanisms that move the light within the glass. How the technology works, as you can see from the picture there, the visible light goes through the glass and into the room or the building. The UV and the infrared are prevented from coming through. The UV is converted to the infrared range, and through the various mechanisms like I just mentioned, the infrared is then pushed to the edge of the glass where it's converted to electricity. But the one beauty with our glass, it's clear. We allow a minimum of 70% of visible light through. To our knowledge, there's no other what I call clear solar glass that has that ability that it can allow so much light through. Product services overview. We have, of course, now OEM suppliers. The sizes we can make is 3 meters plus by 1.6 meters wide. That's the makeup of the product with the PVB interlayer and the PVB strips. They are our IP. And ideally, what we would look forward to in the future is having the 2 IP items shipped to licensees in all jurisdictions throughout the world where they can be assembled into a final product. You don't have to ship glass. Glass is a commodity. Glass is obtainable from all over the world. So that's the final answer. And again, by reducing the shipping, we reduce the carbon footprint. Again, they are very important and they come into play all the time. We work, of course, hoping to work on a royalty, a license and a royalty. We will always support our licensees. So we are a research and development company and a marketing company. We've also done smart facade panels, which I will show you. You can see them there at the bottom of the slide, where we have the smart facade panels, which are capable of using the energy we produce to work electrochromic technologies or light control technologies. It can bring air ventilation into a room. If the CO2 level gets too high, it automatically kicks in to bring the ventilation into the room. In fact, one of those has just been sent to the US, where they are very interested to look at that. Particularly, people are not keen to share ducted air conditioning. So here you can have individual. You have, of course, also security cameras, and the list can go on. It depends, when and if we find more suitable applications. The competitive advantages, well, we have a lot of patents, as you can see, across the world. We also have design protection for versions 2 and 3. Versions 2 and 3 are the products that I'll talk about that we developed in the US. We also have trademark protection all over the world except for New Zealand and South Africa, including the domain names. We are a market leader in clear solar glass currently. All the others are either tinted like onyx, or they are optically distorting, they have lines, and many other reasons. And another very important feature of our product is it is UL certified. That's for America, IE certified, IEC certified, and TUV certified for Europe, as well as CE. So the product has been approved, certified, tested for structural leaking, and of course that it doesn't blow up or catch fire.
Excellent.
Commercialization overview. There are sales opportunities, of course, in the high-rise building. And the greenhouses is an area that we have just built a greenhouse, which I'll come to a bit later. And we also have showcase deployments. The big driving factors here, of course, are the government incentives, regulations, disincentives for people that produce carbon, ESG investment directives, climate and geography, and also debt and equities becoming a big player now, because people that lend money don't want to lend money to buildings that are energy inefficient because they will drop in value. And the equity people, the shareholders, are forcing companies to divest from carbon producing companies, heavy carbon producers. The people that we mostly deal with are architects, facade engineers, project developers, fund managers, resellers, and of course the greenhouse people. I'm just going through this quite quickly. If there's any questions, people can stop, because it's quite a long presentation, especially I want to get to update people to where we're at in the different markets. Here are examples of where the applications have been used. This is a small home. You can see there the products. This is a double-story villa in China that's been built using our product. This is the atrium at a shopping center where our product, as you can see, can you see my cursor, Lachlan?
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, so you can see here. So basically, the whole process of working out how to connect all the different panels was again another learning curve. Yes, we produced one, measured it, all beautiful, successful. Now we have to try and connect a few up. So we tested one in an old bus shelter in Melbourne to see how 8 panels would work together. Well, actually we blew up, what do you call it, the safety valve, and we learned there what we shouldn't do, etc., etc. We then did the same at the atrium, where we came to a much bigger one to see how we could connect it up. And again, we made mistakes in the connecting up. But since here, we've now learned exactly the way we should do it, how they should be connected, and how to draw the power out of them. So everything is a learning curve. We are probably the only company in the world that can put this together from an electrical point of view, because we've got heaps of experience, particularly when you see the greenhouse where we're talking about 300 plates. So we've come a long way. Yeah. I want to talk about the quantum dot research that we are doing with the Exciton CRC, and we're using the Melbourne University and RMIT. I would love everybody, all the viewers, to get hold of the PV Magazine article that was published on June the 29th by Bella Peacock. It really is a wonderful article on us and the technology and the new research that we are doing. And basically it's headed in nanoparticles, because the quantum dots on nano enable completely clear industry-size solar windows, and we're looking to increase the efficiency. So we are a research development. We will always be looking to increase the efficiency of our product. I also want to show the viewers this European Energy Efficiency Fund tweet. They actually picked up our article and spread it around to other members of the European community. And that's really a feather in our cap, because it is really worth reading and it's got a lot of information in it. The quality control, all the quality control gear, the flash tester, the wet leakage tester, and the voltage insulation resistant tester are all in place at our OEM. So all products coming off the line are all quality control tested to make sure that they meet with the efficiencies. If they don't, of course, they're rejected. If they do, of course, they are moved on to the seller. But this is important to show that quality control of our product is critical and very important. And I come from a standard or an industry, particularly the pharmaceutical, where quality control is critical. So that's all in place so people can know that they're getting a quality tested product. I now want to come to the LStar joint venture.
Yeah, so on the 26th, there was the announcement of the signing of the term sheet to establish that. How's that been progressing for you, Victor?
It's been progressing well. All the various agreements are actually in progress. Hopefully they'll all be completed. That's the business plan, the management plan, the shareholder plan, whatever. They're all actually in development process. We've also have registered a company in Holland for other reasons as well, because Holland has got a much cheaper income tax threshold. It's only 10%, which makes it very attractive. And also, in order to gain access to 50 billion euros worth of green funds, you have to be registered in a European country. But I just want to, I'm not sure that this was ever brought up, but the reasons for the collaboration agreement is what I'd like to talk about as well. It's to develop smart windows using both the ClearVue technology and the LStar electrophoretic dynamic glazing technology to combine the two to produce a product that is both energy production and has light control capability. That's what we are trying to prove. And we've already done trials, we've already done testing, and one of our small 50 by 50, in fact, managed to control 4 of their big windows. We're looking to create a self-powered window and an autonomous window. To explain the importance of that. Capable of energy production, offering maximum comfort in terms of the light control and light levels. It should be automatically controlled or integrated with smart building management systems, which it will be. This will remove the need for blinds, curtains, and other window treatments, and I believe this will happen within the next 10 years. It will also remove the need for expensive wiring and side trades required by other electrochromic and light control technologies. The saving could be as much as $1,000 per window because we are autonomous. So by combining the two technologies, we would create a self-powered autonomous window. I believe this will be game-changing and it will create a new product category. This would place both companies in a position to benefit enormously from this extraordinary opportunity. And as you can see in the slide, that's what the product does. This one here at the bottom is actually cut out. That's a reflection of trees and whatever else, but it's actually black. We then go to the next slide where you can reduce the black content and it's call it like a grayish color. You can go further where it is probably 80% or 70% clear, and then we go to the last one where it is absolutely clear. It will allow 70% of light through, which is the same as us, and we've already done the drawings and the technical aspects of incorporating their product with us. So we're looking to this as a very successful venture together in a dynamic market.
Beautiful.
I now come to the greenhouse. Oh, sorry, I left out something about Dieter in Europe. I apologize. I had something to say about Dieter. Dieter joined us, as you know, the 1st of May. He's settled in well. He started making connections throughout Europe from, been in the game a long time. But the two big things that are coming up for us is he is going to be representing ClearVue. at two major European shows. One is the International Conference for Advanced Building Skin, which is the 21st to the 22nd in Bern, Switzerland. He will also be chairing a session at that show, which will be on integrating solar technologies into facades. And the second show that he will be representing us and doing a presentation as well is called Advanced Material in Construction, and that's in Berlin, November the 18th and 19th. So we're starting to make traction and making moves in Europe, well, both through LStar and of course both through DETA.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so I think the next slide's going to go on to it anyway, but well, as the last time we had this conversation, we were talking about the Murdoch University solar greenhouse. I understand that that's been going quite well, but do we have any raw data for that?
Okay, so you can see pictures of the greenhouse. We had a big major opening in the 19th of April, very successful opening, got a lot of publicity. I will not go through, or maybe I should go through the benefits of the technology within the greenhouse. The benefits, first of all, Lachlan, this is the world first clear solar greenhouse. So it's a big statement, and it's very nice to be first and be creative as we are. The significance, renewable energy for sustainable food. I'll refer to that a bit later when I talk about Japan. It gives environmental sustainability. It gives improved human health benefits. And what I'm referring there to is we in our closed and controlled environment should be using a minimal amount of herbicide, fungicide, pesticide, etc., the chemicals. So it's definitely a major advantage in terms of human health. It's not always easy to wash off those chemicals. So I think that's very important in terms of human health. And the higher crop yields, which I will come back to again when I talk about the data that we have just received. So when I come now to the data, we've also started the trials. The trials have started. There you see the little pots. This has been going for approximately 2 weeks now. But the greenhouse, the structure, that's our structure now, as opposed to the growing, which the university will be collecting all the data. It's functioned extremely well. From the raw data that we have received to date, it's exhibiting excellent and superior insulating properties because it controls the daytime temperature 5 to 10 degrees lower than the control room. And it gives you a nighttime temperature of 10 degrees higher than the control room, meaning you need less power to either cool it or to heat it, which is very important there. So that's you are being energy efficient. Also, the other thing that we've achieved what we call the optimal growing temperature.
Yep.
That's the optimal temperature where we believe you will get better crop yields, as much as 10 to 30%. You get larger biomass, and you get a much better tasting vegetable or fruit or whatever it is. And the potential is to get an additional growing period as well. And that's all worth a lot of money to the greenhouse grower. We have shown that we are capable of maintaining a plus minus 1 to 2 degrees of the optimum temperature, which should be 18 to 25 degrees centigrade. That really is important. That optimal growing temperature is really very important. In order to do that, the duration of our greenhouse, the air conditioners we used a lot less and for very short periods, whereas the control room, the HVAC, had to come on more frequently and for much longer periods to achieve the same level as the ClearVue room. So of course we use less power to achieve that optimal growth than the test room.
I've had an interesting question come through from Justin. He's saying with exploration into space becoming more and more prompt for the future, has this technology been adapted for space exploration as well? I think that's an interesting question. Has there been discussions of something similar towards that?
You know what, that's never come up. It's the first that actually it's been brought to my attention, because what we're looking at doing here is creating a super efficient, self-sustainable greenhouse, producing great yields, great products, and healthy products.
Yep.
So once we've done that and done the agricultural side of the trials, which Professor Lee will be doing, then we'll be able to put a proposition forward where we can actually back all the claims that we'd like to claim. In addition, by using less power, our greenhouse uses a lot less water. You get less evaporation, of course, than the control greenhouse, which would be unbelievably suited to deserts and very dry regions. And we've just introduced some robots to image each plant, that is to measure the growth of the plant, because it's not easy just with the eye to see it, but here with the pictures that take them 24 hours a day, they can actually measure the growth. And the other robot is to do physiological measurements to actually see the photosynthesis rate, the yield.
And just on that, I got another question from Benjamin, sorry, on the greenhouse. Is it fully self-sufficient, or does it rely, does it power its AC through the window energy, or does it have a little bit still grid dependent?
Okay, it's too early days because there's a lot of fine tuning still to do between what they call it, water spraying and maybe blinds, to see how we can even reduce the energy consumption further. I don't think it'll be totally sustainable, not right now. We would still have work to do to fine tune all that, but it's really working well, and it's working beyond our expectation. It's giving us results beyond our expectation. And just by the way, we have produced in these little trays or little black what do you call them? I've gone blank for words. These little holders, we have got a variety of 10 types of seeds that have been planted, and it's a mixture of grains, legumes, fruits, and vegetables. So there's a good mixture there, and they'll all be monitored and compared to, of course, the trial greenhouse to see how they all feature. So far, it's looking absolutely great.
Excellent.
Now, I want to talk about Japan. That's something that our viewers would love to know.
Just before we get on to Japan as well, you also had a recent announcement to do with the public park in Sydney. Well, has there been any more news with the developments of that as well?
The public park is scheduled for production in September. So we are busy producing the glass for the public park. It will be delivered, I think, late August. Production is scheduled for September. Completion is probably in September, beginning October. It's a wonderful approach from this major Sydney council to actually thinking about the environment and its citizens, because here the citizens will be protected from the harmful UV, and it'll keep it warmer, and they can use the power for lighting at night. So it's a wonderful step from this major Sydney council.
Perfect, perfect. And so as you're about to go on, we understand that you had a bit of a presentation in the Asia region. What was the benefit from doing that?
You mean the Japan, the greenhouse there? Yes, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So Tomita have been in the business of building and delivering greenhouse equipment for the last 70 years. So they're a well-established, solid business. They're not a new start. They approached us for a license. We're working very closely with them because they've never worked with this type of technology. But they are really advanced and forward thinking, because they were telling me that in Japan, the agricultural department have brought out a green food system strategy, which actually says you cannot have any fossil fuels by the year 2050. They have to change to renewables. So they already are going to be a leader, because there's nobody else doing this in Japan. We're the first. And the other big one is that the government named a green growth strategy announcement. So here they've allocated 423,000 hectares of abandoned land and agricultural degraded land, specifically for agriculture, as well as the greenhouses. But again, they have to be self-sufficient. You cannot produce fossil fuels. According to Tomita, there's an unbelievable opportunity for ClearVue in Japan coming up. The other thing, the show that they put on, this is a show that they did, was extremely well received, absolutely well received. And I'd like to quote what she actually said to us here, where she said a group of guests who attended the opening ceremony of the exhibition came to our booth second after being guided by the organizers. So the organizers are actually telling people, directing people to that booth, because it's the only unique, different kind of booth. The rest of the stuff, old hat, if I may say it. So they gave a presentation of ClearVue, and it turned out it attracted enormous attention, and they actually were inundated with people. So we're really looking forward to great progress in Japan, and I'm sure they will be getting ready to build their first greenhouse probably in the next 6 weeks.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's very exciting. It's very exciting to hear. But I understand there's also been exciting news on the other side of the world with America. I think that's what a lot of viewers are wanting to hear about. With America, there was a hint that there's a New York project among the midst. Is there a building in particular that you're going to be working with?
Yes, so we were very fortunate to be invited to demonstrate our technology in a, it's an iconic building in New York. I just don't want to mention the name now for many reasons.
Okay.
Because the owners of the building and the city of New York actually, they want to make the formal announcement about the demonstration trial, and not let me interfere in their timing. The only unfortunate part is it's been delayed because there's a late arrival of other trial participants' products, and I assume that's due to COVID and shipping. I think we're looking now for the actual official opening to be around end of August. But yes, this is a big deal for our little Perth company to be invited to exhibit amongst some of the bigger players in town in this iconic building. I unfortunately don't have any other news other than we are waiting, we're biting our nails.
Yes.
I have organized that our guys there have equipment available, which will arrive in probably about 10 days' time, so that they can start getting ready for the trial to actually measure the output all day, every day. So it again will be raw data, it will be live data. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it, and I think it will explode us onto the US market.
100%, definitely, definitely. And with your single and double glazing product development, how's that been going as well?
Okay, so we have for the past probably 15 months been developing a single glaze and a double glaze. So that just complements our current range of triple glaze. So we wanted to have the full spectrum of glazing so that the whole market potentially is available for any one of our products. The single glazing one, of course, could be, of course, for houses and, of course, buildings, retrofits, new, and also for the automobile or transport industry, because they are also going to have to use products that can give 70% of light, because that's the minimum you can allow through the front windscreen, but at the same time to give power and keep the cabin cooler. So you're saving energy from air conditioners by keeping the cabin cooler. The double glazing is very much suited to the retrofit market and of course the new build as well. Europe and the US, Europe particularly is triple and quadruple glazing already. America's triple glazing, but the older buildings would be either single or double glazed. So that's why these products were developed. The retrofit market is enormous. Nobody knows the real volume, but it's ginormous. You know, who knows, 250 billion square meters of properties in America. In New York alone, there are 50,000 buildings that are going to have to be retrofitted because they are subject to a carbon tax. So within the next 18 months, they have to already be gearing up to start making the changes, which have to be in place by 2030. So we're looking forward to some big opportunities and success in the US.
Beautiful, beautiful. No, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. Well, this brings us back to a few questions from the audience. If anyone has any more questions, please send them through. But Victor, I do have one at the moment from Cherie. She goes, what are your main standards of ethical sustainable development? What are your main goals? Do you have a system of what is ethically sustainable? So do you have a main thesis that you guys guide around?
No, but those standards are produced and enforced by governments, legislators, local governments. They're the ones who are creating the new standards. Our product is there to assist the developer or the building to achieve those standards. We don't always know what they are, but we know that we can offer huge benefits by reducing your energy consumption by up to 40% with inside, and of course that we can produce 30 watts per square meter peak from the outside. So that's the only way I can answer you now, but there are many forces that are making this transition besides the legislation from governments, local governments. The debt equity markets are starting to force. In other words, the banks that lend buildings money, if they can see that they're energy efficient, they will not be keen to lend their money because their value is going to drop. And the equity players will be more looking to where they would invest their money. They definitely wouldn't put it into companies that are in the carbon producing sphere. So there are many factors, and we actually have the products that suit the time going forward in the sustainable world.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I think that will wrap us up for today. Victor, if you have any final comments?
No, I think I've covered everything. Were you happy with the presentation?
That was perfect. I'm sure the audience thoroughly enjoyed. I've definitely am very eager to hear more about upcoming announcements with America and Japan, and definitely from the Netherlands as well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, don't threat. We'll get in contact and we can answer those as well. Victor is also if you want to get in touch with ClearVue as well, you're welcome to do that. I welcome you to retweet the magazine as well from Bella, was it?
You need to read the magazine from Bella. Just let me get it again. It was, you know, the fact that the European Energy Efficiency Fund noted it and distributed to all their members, you know, that does say a lot. It's got a lot of real value in there, and there's a lot on ClearVue itself. So I would love the participants to read that, yes.
Beautiful.
And you know,
Beautiful.
one other thing, Lachlan, there are not too many companies in the green space who have sustainable products and can reduce carbon footprints and are essential products. Windsor, you can't do without windows. We are very few players in the world and in the markets that people can invest in if they want to participate.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Well, thank you very much, Victor, for coming back. A pleasure to have you on board. This has been another production by Port Jackson Securities, and thank you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Doctor. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.